What's up to the true boxing fans out there? This is Fighters Block. It's your boy P, my partner in
Peace, man.
crime, Anthony.
What's going on?
Um, we discussing the post ward-kovalev part 2. Um, First off, I just want to take my hats off to both guys for putting on a tremendous performance. It was still a very competitive fight. Each round, both guys win their trading shots. But SOG pulled it off like I definitely felt he would, and a lot of true boxing fans felt he would. To me, Andre Ward made the adjustments. He wasn't taking as many shots from Kovalev. He was taking shots, but he wasn't taking as many hard shots as he did in the first fight. And honestly, Kovalev did the same exact thing. I didn't see a change in his game. And watching some of the post-fight, Ward said he seen Kovalev getting tired again early. When I watched the fight again, I seen him breathing hard in round 7. He was breathing hard, like Ward said, had his arms on the rope. So I don't know how much the fitness and all of the things that he changed in his camp came into play. But like I say, it was a great fight, and my hat goes off to Andre Ward. He beat the giant once again. Stopped him round 8. The body attack in round 8 was one of the most vicious body attacks I've ever seen. Ever seen. Me personally, I mean, I haven't seen it all, but the body attack in round 8 was vicious. I mean, the shots were on the belt line. It's a lot of little controversy about that, but I watched it in slow motion. I mean, the shots were on the belt line, and it was just a vicious body attack. But like you said the other day, Ant, it started off with the right hand to the head. That's what really hurt him, and then he just closed it out with the body. People have been saying it was the early stoppage. What do you think about that, Ant?
I really think I have to say that the stoppage. I think the fight could have went on maybe to the end of the round, but I think that the stoppage was right, because I think that there was a point where Kovalev was kind of looking for a way out. And I think it kind of started with the first body shot he hit him with, like I think it was like round 4 or 5, where he kind of hit him right there in the breadbasket, and you could kind of see forward. His first reaction was that's a low blow, because most guys don't want to admit that when they get hurt with a body shot, so they're gonna try to say it's low,
Exactly.
So I think that after that first body shot, whenever he saw he couldn't hurt Ward anymore, and Ward was kind of walking through his jab, he was kind of falling apart. You could kind of see it in his eyes. Like, if you're not just looking at a fighter's body language, look in their eyes, kind of look at his expression. He didn't have much left. The right hand wasn't landed. So I think up to that point, he was gassed out again, like you said, like, because he's not going to change overnight. So
exactly,
he was gassing out just like he was in the first fight. So up to round 8, that right hand up top, that was just like, the cherry on it. That was just like boom. That's what showed he was weak. And then that body attack is what finished it. So I have to say the referee, he made the good call, because those were legit shots. They weren't as low as people were saying they were.
Yeah, and I wanna add on to that. After watching the fight again and watching that whole round 8, Kovalev ate a lot of unanswered shots, and I mean, Andre Ward was teeing off on him. He ate a lot of shots that he wasn't really defending and he wasn't answering. And then after the right hand, and he had him on the ropes, he wasn't defending or protecting himself. I mean, that's the rules of the sport. You have to always protect yourself. I mean, he just bent over and sat on the rope. I've never seen that. None of that was body language that you wanted to go on.
No.
Could he have went on? Yeah, he wasn't knocked out. He could have went on, but all the body language was signaling that I'm done.
Yeah, because he could have he could have gotten a count, but I think the referee saw in his body language that, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and stop it because he's sitting on the ropes, you know.
I mean, he just killed over, dude. I mean, that's not. He wasn't. I mean, the body shots just took a toll on him. I mean, regardless of what he might want to say,
Yeah,
it was that body attack. I mean, he was chopping away like he was on a tree, dude. I mean, it was awesome, man.
telling you, man, it was like
It was.
this is one of these fights where it makes me respect Ward more and more. And it kind of makes him look more and more like a throwback fighter, not just like a fighter of today. You know, he's like as far as business and everything, he is that. But he is a throwback fighter because it's something him and Virgil talked about. They're willing to take a shot to give two. You know, they would you know, take those jabs, kind of give Kovalev that false hope like he's doing something, and then boom, boom, you know, he coming back with 2, 3, 4 shots to the body, to the head, you know.
Absolutely.
And that's what kind of broke Kovalev down. Like when the jab wasn't doing anything, even though it was landing at times, you know, it was like, you know, this is our game plan and we stick into it. It was kind of similar to Errol Spence and Kell Brook, you know. Because you could argue that Kovalev was making it competitive. He might have been ahead. They said he was ahead on one card, but Ward stuck to his game plan. You know, he kept chopping him down. He said, "I can chop this guy down." You know.
And I mean, and you know, like I say, watching the fight the second time, man. I mean, I can clearly say Kovalev probably won like the second round, but I mean, it all depends on what you're looking for. Andre Ward was the one throwing combinations, body, head, up top, downstairs. He was the one spinning. He was the one kind of dictating the pace of the fight.
Yeah.
I just thought that he was doing what he wanted to do in there, to be honest. You know, he was doing what he wanted to do. And Kovalev didn't have no answers for none of that. He was just walking around trying to stalk Andre Ward down.
Yeah.
And and it's like I say, like I always say, Andre Ward is on another level, and it's just a testament to, you know, these guys. They know how to level up. When it's time to level up, he can level up. Everybody can't level up. Kovalev couldn't level up. He came in with the same exact thing. It's the same exact thing.
He's been on that level for so long. You know, he's been on a one level for so long, and you know, he's never had to go any higher. Because it's like Roy said, you know, Roy was actually doing better commentating than, you know, Jim Lampert, all of them. You know, Roy was calling it. Roy was like, you know, he's a 1-2 guy. He's like, I don't see any hooks from him. I don't see a left hook. I just see the
nothing.
And Ward took the 2 away from him. And without the 2, he's nothing, you know. Sadly, you know, he proved to be nothing without the 2, you know.
Yeah.
And it was like I was telling you the other day, like if Kovalev doesn't have that power, it's like you said, he would be a tomato can, you know.
He'd be a tomato can, dude. You know, and like we say, and we're not bashing no fighters.
No,
you know, we respect any guy who gets in the ring. We respect them, but I mean, we just trying to call it how it is. And I mean, without the power, 3 or 4 notches.
Yeah.
I mean, he got stamina issues. He can't go 12 rounds.
No, he can't. He can't. Unless he got the upper hand and he's just wailing on you, he'll stay in there for 12. But
he can stay in there for 12, but he don't have, you know, the stamina to go 12. I mean, he gassing out in 5 rounds, 8 rounds. A fight is 12 rounds. I mean, all day long. And so, seen twice that you wasn't. You was having problems going 12 rounds. I mean, think about it too. This is a guy who used to knocking people out, and he ain't used to going deep waters all the time.
No, he's not. No, he's not. Because even when he went 12 with Chilemba back in you know, last year.
Look how crazy Chilemba made him look. You know what I'm saying?
You know, besides you know, that fight, he made excuses for that fight, tried to say he didn't train right for that fight. So anytime he goes 12s, he's trying to make the excuse that I didn't train right. But no, it's just you have stamina issues, you know?
And we starting to see that this is a guy who makes excuses.
Yeah.
This is a guy who can, and now Andre Ward was cheated this time. I mean, he's a guy who continuously excuses, and that's not a champion, man. That's not a champion, and I mean, you wasn't worthy of the belt, and you got him from you because you wasn't worthy of him, man.
No,
You know, so it's just, you know, I'm tired of the excuses with this guy. You know, you got a nasty attitude. Then when you lose, it's a bunch of excuses. It's everything but I lost. You know what I'm saying?
right.
I mean, the fact still remains. You're the bigger man. You're the crusher. You should have knocked him out in the first round. The fact that he made it to 8 with you, your skills, because you're the crusher. He's not the crusher. Andre Ward is not the knockout king. You are.
Right. So for every round that Ward stays in there with him, it's building Ward's stock up. Because Ward's a smaller guy.
Exactly. Smaller guy. They're going. It's you know.
And
David and Goliath, you know, it's David and Goliath all day long. You know, so.
A couple of things, I want to talk about is Ward's, you know, his overall performance, man. It was like you could tell like he did his homework. It wasn't like he changed his whole game plan, but it was like we said before, he kind of customized, his arsenal for this fight. You know, he kind of just said, okay, let me go in here, get a good feel out. And then he just started, you know, making Kovalev miss. And some people were saying Ward was getting a slow start again, but, you know, it takes a few rounds to get into your groove, you know. I don't care who you are, but when he started getting into his groove, it was just like, man, he was really like slipping and making Kovalev look bad and countering with some crazy shots.
Making him pay.
Yeah.
You know, and pay. His performance was just it's just like that Andre Ward thing. We don't know what's going to happen, but we know this kid is going to do a level it takes to come out with the W. We don't know how he's going to do it. We don't know the game plan, but time and time again, he's proven that. I mean, the Olympic gold medal. I mean, that puts him in a class of his own. To be honest, the Olympic gold medal in the Super 6 tournament. Nobody else has that on their resume.
Yeah.
Nobody has that on their
resume. Yeah. I mean, he's never really had a rest until that, you know, 2-year layoff, which dealt with business. But other than that, he's never really had a rest like most fighters. No.
So, I mean, the kid, I mean, like he said, okay, and now am I eligible for the pound for pound number one? I mean, come on. I mean, what else can we say, Ant? You know, what can we say? I mean, here's this guy, he's undefeated, which in today's boxing game, that means a whole lot. So he's undefeated. He got an Olympic gold medal, and he won a Super 6 tournament. I mean, what more do you need? Nobody else in the roster fits that resume. I mean, there's a couple honorable mentions, but I mean, when you look at the resume, to me, just because the Super 6 and the Olympics was a long time ago, to me, that's always connected to him, man. That don't just go away.
No, it don't, because like it don't go away, because like we were saying too, that this record, you know, these opponents he's faced, name one fighter that went on that long a streak of fighting, you know, tough opposition. You know, no tune-ups, no cherry picking, no saying I'm gonna fight a Raider. He had to go in. These guys were dangerous.
None. And that's why, like you say, Ant, when you say, I mean, he just reminds you of a throwback fighter. He does, because that's what throwback fighters used to do. You know what I'm saying? Whoever they put in front of them, they just fought him and made it happen. Yeah. And I mean, the kid, I mean, it's not like he walks around with a bad attitude. We don't look at him like that, but anybody you put in front of him, he takes care of him, man. You know, I mean,
whatever it takes. You know, he doesn't come with the one style. He goes in there and takes care of him. You know, and every day, like I said, his respect just, you know, I just get more and more respect for him, because what do you think too about like Kovalev's energy in this fight, man? Like, is that a big part of why he lost? You know, not just of what his performance was in the ring. Do you think that's what he was bringing into the ring had a big effect on that?
I mean, I just think it's just another flaw that he has on top of, being one dimensional and like he has stamina issues. I mean, don't get me wrong, he wasn't in there looking obviously tired, but if you know for the thing, if you know what to look for,
Yeah.
he was tired, and it's just like, I mean, on this level, you cannot gas out in 5 rounds. You cannot gas out in 8 rounds, when you're on this level. I mean, it was no room for him to have stamina issues in this fight. And I do think it played a part in it, but not necessarily. The body shots take your stamina out of you, man. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
I mean, the body assault alone slowed him down, took a lot out of him too.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, Ward is just that smart. Man, the guy got stamina issues, but let me hop on the body early and go ahead and nip that in the bud. You know what I'm saying? And I mean,
Right. And how many times, everybody says that Kovalev is like, yeah, he's bigger than Ward, he's stronger, but how many of his fights has he had to go on the inside with and actually deal with somebody that's going to maul you, you know?
the inside fight game, you can see that he's real uncomfortable with it, but that's Ward thing. That's what
Yeah.
he likes to do.
Yeah.
You know, chest to the chin, head to the chest, chin to the chest, and tight and roughing it up. He likes that. And
Yeah.
that's a style. That's an art form. It's not just in there looking crazy. It might look crazy, but it's a technique. It's a method to that madness. And Andre Ward is good. He was in there popping that body. Everybody didn't see that, but it was times he was popping that. You know what I'm saying? It was a strategy to it. So, I mean, the kid, like I just say, and I mean, to me, I'm kind of looking at it like, man, I mean, I didn't expect nothing less. I don't know if the world is surprised, but like I say, I mean, you don't win a gold medal in the Olympics. You don't win tournaments, professional tournaments with the best people in the world internationally at 160. You don't just win those by accident.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Those things are signs that this kid is special. He's gifted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like his famous line is, everybody doubted me. I don't punch hard. I'm not big enough. I'm not this. So just he used all that adversity to become the best. And that's a
Yeah.
hell of a story. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. He used all the things that I'm not the fastest. I'm not the biggest. I'm not the biggest puncher to become the best fighter in the world right now, man. I mean, what the hell? So it was a very good night for boxing. Despite this week we had things trying to overshadow this great performance, it still turned out to be a very good night for Andre Ward. It couldn't have happened a better way.
Yeah. It couldn't have been to a better fighter, It couldn't have been to a better fighter. I mean, he did everything that he needed to do inside and outside the ring. He admitted that the first fight wasn't what he wanted. So he went back and worked on some things versus, Sergey Kovalev. He just didn't want to accept the defeat. He could still say that I felt I won, but at the same time, he didn't go back and say, there's things I got to work on. Instead, he made a lot of excuses. He even put down his trainer, John David Jackson, the guy that's training him. He said he was nothing but a guy that holds the mitts, to me, which is plain disrespectful. And that just, going back to the energy thing, that just made me see that there's so much energy around him that's negative. That how's he focusing on the fight? How's he focused on the task at hand? Which is being in the ring instead of focusing on the past.
Right. And Ed, I kind of misunderstood you a little bit earlier when you were talking about the energy. Now,
oh yeah,
that the negative energy that he was bringing, I mean, that just couldn't help. That wasn't going to be beneficial by no means. You're not going to bring negative energy when you're fighting the Son of God. Somebody who walks by that mantra, and that's what he.
yeah.
You're not going to come in with negative and cussing and being. That's just not going to work, dude. It's just not going to work. So that as far as that, that worked against him. If anything, it worked against him because he didn't rattle Ward. He didn't get under Ward. He did nothing. but
Yeah.
made him kind of look very immature and unprofessional. That's all it did to me, you
Yeah.
know. But I did kind of want to, you know, touch on what's next for Ward before we wrap it up. You
Oh
know
yeah.
what I'm
Me too. Yeah.
my personal opinion, Ward at this stage in his career, it's all about, you know, getting these nice paydays that he deserves.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, really, when you look on the horizon, it's not a lot out there for Ward. I mean, to me, honest, you know, the Donna Stevenson fight, I don't see that being a big money fight. I mean, he can get the other fight that I really see that kind of would maybe spark some interest is Triple G at 168.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
fight that I kind of see that could be problematic is then you do what being, you know, the age he is going up and down in weight. See, it's one thing to go up in weight, but to be going up and down in weight to Roy, I don't know. I don't know if that'd be a good thing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I guess if the price is right, you know, that might be something that those guys are willing to do. But, you know, Ward and Triple G 168, that's the only thing I see really making any type of sense right now. And how about you?
I was gonna say the same thing, man. I was gonna say Triple G. If he wants a big fight, it should be Triple G. Maybe at a catchweight 170. You know, some people do that.
Mm.
You know, sometimes guys meet in that middle, like Winky Wright, Bernard Hopkins. They win at 170.
Yeah, I mean, that somebody was saying, somebody earlier I was talking to, they were saying Triple G at 175. Triple G is not moving up 2 weight classes. What is
No.
it? 3 weight classes? Yeah, 2 weight classes.
Yeah.
That's not happening.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you said, catch weight at 168, 170. You know what I mean? That seems.
So it's either that fight or, yeah, if he wants to, you know, unify the belt, you know, maybe a fight in Canada with Adonis Stevenson, you know, that's where his big draw is. So it might pull in some money there in Canada. But other than that, I mean, at light heavyweight.
I mean, you know what he said at the end of this fight. I mean, cruiserweight, heavyweight. It's no way I could. I don't see that. No, I don't see that ability. And you know, you heard when Ward said that, right?
Yeah, I heard that. Even Virgil Hunter, you know, that's a little scary, man. That's a little.
I mean, 175 is kind of man. You talking about, and I just don't see the frame on him, man. I don't
No.
see the frame on him.
No, I don't. Because they were talking about him fighting maybe that cruiserweight named Usyk, and I mean, like Usyk. I mean, it would be a challenge, but at the same time, it'd be a worse pick fight because I mean, there's really no money and nobody really knows his name. You know, people barely. You know, people is just getting to know Kovalev. They really don't know Usyk. You know, so
Exactly, and that's another thing. That's what they were saying too. Like Kovalev, I mean, people really don't know him. He's not a draw yet. You know what I mean? So him and Ward dancing together, a big draw for the common fan. You know, but I mean, that's what I say. I mean, the sport is for the fans, the casual fans, the diehard fans. But you know, it kind of sucks that you know you have to have that name to make money. And you know what I'm saying? This was an awesome fight. These guys both should have made a ton of money. You know, and they did. You know, make decent money, but it's just the politics of the game. You know, this kind of sad sometimes. You know.
yeah. Because again, you know, like they said, this was the first time in so many years that 2 top 10 fighters faced off like this.
Right.
Or 2 top 5 fighters. And, you know, to me, that's, you know, that was a big deal.
And this is what we want. And this is what the fans want. We want the best fighting the best. So, I mean, they trying to give it to us. But, I mean, these guys want to be compensated for, you know, taking these chances too. Because, I mean, if the best fighting the best, somebody got to lose.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. But one quick question before we wrap this up too. What do you think about Kovalev? What do you think he should do next? And what does he got to do, man, to get himself back up?
I mean, to be honest, Kovalev, I still think he goes on to make some money in the game. I mean, it's like a guy fighting Floyd to me, Ant. I mean, you fought the best, you got exposed. I mean, Floyd beat up Canelo. Canelo was the big, stronger guy. The smaller guy came in there and schooled him. So it's one of those things. He need to go back to the drawing board, humble himself, and I don't see anybody else in the division that can really give him too much problems. So that's the thing. I mean, he just met his match. I mean, you know how it is. You meet your match sometimes, and Andre Ward had that kryptonite.
Yeah.
That's that. He didn't. Kovalev is not in retirement mode, anything like that. He's still a young man. He still got stuff left in his tank. He still got money to make. So I don't think that this really damages him. If anything, it'll make him better. You fought the best. Go back to the drawing board and tighten up them holes in your game. And, that's how I look at it. And what about you, man?
Yeah, I see it the same, man. I think that honestly, at this point, him and John David Jackson should just kind of part ways. They should just kind of part ways, and he should just be the fighter that he wants to be, that he wants to be, and learn to accept defeat and, cut out them bad habits like they're talking about, the bad habits that kind of, made him have these stamina issues, just start dedicating himself. Because, I mean, he's a year older than Ward, so his time is coming. So if he wants to stay a big dog in the game, man, he has to kind of clean himself up. He's always saying he's doing it for his son and his wife. I mean, he just has to get rid of that negative energy, accept defeat and, accept, the mistakes he makes.
Right.
Correct.
I mean, and that's the only way you can learn from mistakes, Ant, is accepting. If you're never willing to look in the mirror and say, yeah, I did screw up, then you're never going to learn from it. So, I mean, that's a pill he has to swallow. I mean, it's not even like it's a bad pill. That's what I'm saying. It's not like you got beat up by a bum. You got beat up by the best.
Lost to the best fighter. I mean, yeah.
I mean, and he didn't just wash you. I mean, you were competitive. So here it is. I competed against Olympic gold medal, Super 6 tournament. I mean, I gotta, shine my brass up a little bit too.
Yeah.
So it's nothing to hang his head low about, but he definitely needs to humble himself and change his attitude, man. That negative attitude is not going to get you nowhere in the sport. We seen Mike Tyson. I mean, he had the negative attitude and the fist to back it up. But how long did it last?
Right.
How long did it last? That don't last long. With Andre Ward is doing that, lasts forever.
Yeah.
Lasts forever. Greatness lasts forever. So that's my final note on it, Ant.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say other than, congratulations to Ward. Andre Ward did it again, Just gotta say congratulations to him. He solidified that #1 spot, and from here, I just, hope that one day he'll get the recognition that he gets.
I think it's coming. Sometimes, I mean, like they say, when you leave, that's when you get it. Hopefully it don't take that long, but it's coming. That, I mean, the glory is coming. It's coming because he's humble and he's walking in the path, and it's coming. So.
All right. Well, yeah, that's all I got, man. This Ant.
This P.
And make sure y'all subscribe. I'm out.
Peace.